Hi, and thank you for being here tonight. My name is Dr. Philip Cordova, and I want you to take just a minute and imagine your future. I want you to imagine yourself living 70, 80, 90 plus years of age with quality health. That means not dependent on medications or drugs to get through the day. That means waking up with vitality, energy, and having the energy to play with your kids, see your grandkids grow up, travel, enjoy vacations, and heading towards a cruise ship and not the nursing home. That's what a healthy life is truly about. And I want you to ask yourself, do you believe that a healthy life full of energy is possible for you? Do you believe that your body is capable of delivering that for you? And most importantly, do you believe you're worthy of that? Tonight, I will talk about understanding what health is really about, how and why you must be an active participant in your health, and why it's so important to share this information with others. I want to tell you that I do believe a healthy life is possible for all of us. I know that if your body is healing and functioning the way it was designed, then it will happen. Every single person in this room is worthy of living a healthy life. But here's the interesting thing. We're talking about living the health of our dreams. But what do you need to make it happen? That means achieving our goals. That means doing the things that we want to do. We all have different dreams. We all have different goals. But we all need this one thing in order to achieve our goals. What is it? Your health. Now, we have to have our health. That means, by definition, health is our greatest asset. Without it, we can't do any of the things that we want to do. Would you agree? Well, would you also agree with me if I said that not only is our health our greatest asset, but the health of our family is our greatest asset? Now, if you do agree, then that makes this next question I'm about to pose for you very important for you to answer. What is health? It's our greatest asset, but what is it? How do you know if you're healthy? Well, the number one thing people say is, I'm healthy if I feel good. Sometimes it's if I lose some weight, or sometimes it's if I look a certain way, or if I can be that person on the magazine cover, then I'll be healthy. But is that what health really is? No. And you know what the problem is? When we're judging our health by how we look or how we feel, we never do anything about our health to improve it until we what? Feel bad, yeah. And that's called being reactive instead of proactive. And we know if we want to live that healthy life, we want to have those goals and do those things and have a great health, we have to be proactive about making great choices. The leading causes of death in the United States are all about being reactive. Does anybody know what the top leading causes of death are right now in the U.S.? The top two? Can you name one? That's right, heart disease and cancer. Now, I always use the utmost respect when I talk about these topics because I know there's probably not a person in this room who hasn't been touched by heart disease or cancer. However, if you've known someone who has passed away with a heart attack, and if you could go back in time to a few hours before they had that heart attack and ask, how do you feel? What do you think they would say? I feel fine. Some might even say they're feeling good because they don't often feel the chronic degenerative changes that are happening inside their body until it's too late. So the top two ways that people die in the U.S. allow you to feel good until it's too late. Scary, right? Now we have to start thinking differently when it comes to symptoms. Symptoms can be a heart attack, or symptoms can be anything from headaches to low energy and breathing problems, digestive problems, neck pain, back pain, tingling, numbness, or just pain in general. Now all of these symptoms, most of the time, the focus of the patient is removing the symptoms, not dealing with the cause of the symptom. But the symptom is the fire alarm. It's not the fire. If this building were on fire and we called the fire department and they busted down the door with their axes and their hoses and they run in and they just cut the cord to the fire alarm and say, "Whew, we got it." We know that wouldn't make sense, right? Or if you're driving your car and the check engine light comes on and you just put a piece of black tape over it and keep driving and then not expect your car to break down. We know that wouldn't make sense. Yet, we do the very same thing with our bodies over and over and over again by covering up symptoms with drugs. We ignore these symptoms that return over and over again and hope that they will miraculously go away. Or worse, we think that because the symptom has faded, that the problem itself has gone away. When we take health histories of our patients, especially those over the age of 40, they'll tell us that the symptoms have come and gone repeatedly throughout their lives. They only decided to do something about it because it's finally stopped going away. They dealt with the symptom over and over again because they never figured out what was causing the problem in the first place. So let's go back to the definition of health. We talked about it, but what is health? That becomes a very important question. Now, we use the World Health Organization's very own definition, and here's what it says. It was developed in the 40s and 50s, but I think it's absolutely great. It says, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Notice it doesn't say anything about how you look or how you feel. Now, I believe that health is the optimal functioning of your body. Now, that makes one thing very important and brings up another question. What controls the functions of our body? If optimal functioning is the definition of health, then we need to know what controls it. We need to make sure that it's healthy so that we can be healthy. Does anyone know what organ or system controls and coordinates the functions of every other organ, cell, tissue in your entire body? That's right, your nervous system. Now, the nervous system includes the brain, spinal cord, and all the nerves that run throughout your body. It controls everything in your body by sending messages through the spinal cord and out these nerves. Right now, even though you're not having to think about it, your brain is coordinating your heart rate and your heartbeat. When you go to sleep tonight, you don't have to remember to breathe. That's because your brain's intelligence is in there. The food that you eat tonight, your brain will coordinate 20 different organs to digest every single piece of food to assimilate those nutrients into your bloodstream and then take those nutrients to 70 trillion cells in your body. And that has to happen every second of every day or you don't make it through the day. Is that not a miracle? You have a self-healing, self-regulating organism that lives in you. So it's very important that this nervous system is taken care of. Further evidence that this is the most important system in your body is that it's the only system in your body that's completely encased in bone. Our heart and lungs have ribs around them, but nothing like the nervous system. Bone completely encases the spinal cord, and your skull's protecting your brain. It's delicate, and it's very, very vital and very important. But we also have the ability to move, and that's where we can run into problems. We slip, we fall, we get in car accidents, we have postural stress, and we sit poorly for 8 hours a day or more. All of this happens to the spine and this nervous system, and it damages it. So when people come into our office, we check 3 areas of their spine because we want to make sure these 3 areas are healthy since they're vital to your health. Now, the first area is called your atlas. Has anybody heard of the atlas? Well, it's the very first bone of the spine. Now, I don't know if you remember Christopher Reeves. He was Superman, but he got bucked off a horse and fractured that area. It didn't sever the spinal cord because that would be decapitation. Nobody has ever survived decapitation. However, the fracture put pressure on his spinal cord, and in his autobiography it said the width of a pinky. That's how far it pushed into the spinal cord, and it acted like a dam in a river. It blocked the messages from the brain that were trying to get to his body, so that he had to have a pacemaker and defibrillator to keep his heart rate beating properly. He had to have a respirator to breathe for him because his brain wasn't doing that anymore. People had to massage his colon so that he could go to the bathroom because messages were no longer controlling that organ, like a dam in the river. Now, I pray that no one ever has to go through a broken or fractured vertebra that causes pressure on their spinal cord. But even if we have a few degrees of misalignment, putting pressure into a very vital area, how long do we really want to keep that pressure? Yet this is the very thing we see in patients that we examine. Now, we are very gentle and very specific when we're correcting this atlas. We want to make sure that life is flowing through this area in the upper portion of your neck. Now, it can be the cause of a lot of different symptoms, but the main thing is that we remove the interference that will allow the body to function the way it was designed so that it can function and heal. Now, a year or so ago, a very frustrated mother brought in her 2-month-old son that would just not stop crying. This was her 3rd child, so she was a pro. She came in with 2 little girls that were clearly very afraid to go near their little brother. She wasn't a patient. She was just at her wit's end. A lady in the grocery store had walked up to her and said, "You should take him to see a chiropractor." Since the mother had never been to see a chiropractor, she was hesitant. Instead, she took the baby to her medical doctor, who diagnosed acid reflux and started the baby on medications to no avail. After a few weeks of that, the chiropractor visit was starting to look pretty good. Now, I checked the baby and found a misalignment of the atlas. When the baby was lying there on the table, he would rotate his head to the right. If I rolled him left, he would again roll again to the right with more crying. Now, it's not uncommon in the birth process for the atlas to get misaligned, which is why we do check all babies for free. I applied gentle pressure with my pinky finger to his little atlas and asked the mother to bring him back the next day. She reported that that night he was consolable. That means when she picked him up, he didn't cry quite as much. I adjusted him again and told her to come back the next day. The next day was like a totally different family. The little boy was no longer crying, his little sisters were talking to him in the stroller, and the mother looked like she finally got some sleep. She reported that he had done something that he had not yet done in his 2 months of life. He smiled. It was awesome. Now, I wonder what would have happened to that little boy without chiropractic. More importantly, I wonder what would have happened if the lady at the grocery store had not suggested that the mom give chiropractic a try. The second area that we look at in the spine is what we call global misalignment. This can also be referred to as your posture. From the front view, we want the spine to be as straight as possible, and then from the side view, there should be a 45-degree curve in the neck, an opposite curve in the mid-back, and then another curve just like the neck in the lower back. If your spine has this position, it's in an optimal and therefore stronger position. Does that make sense? Now, if someone walks into my office crooked, is that healthy or sick? That's sick. Now, there's pressure on this nerve that goes to the heart. Over time, does that heart get healthier or sicker? Sicker, right? However, the patient walking through my door has never said, "My heart isn't working at 100%, so I thought I should get adjusted." The focus is usually pain, but we are focused on improving your health. Getting rid of pain is usually the easy part. But let's say we can correct even 15 degrees of pressure off that nerve. What happens next to the heart? It begins to heal. It begins to function as it should. Bad posture leads to bad health. So we at the chiropractors are always evaluating your posture, and so should you. How you sit, stand, sleep, and perform your daily activities will go a long way in determining your posture. Our website is filled with posture exercises to help your muscles get stronger and support you better. But you have to be diligent and make sure your monitor is at a good level, that you're not sleeping on your stomach, and be aware of activities that are imbalanced or put your spine at risk of injury or misalignment. Your spine does not have to be perfect, but we do want to make sure it's functioning as well as it can. It's important that we keep you functioning as well as possible so that your body can function, which is the definition of health. When your spine is not maintained in proper alignment, greater stresses are applied to a few areas of spine and those areas get stuck, aka they stop functioning as well as they should. Now, the third area we review is the nerve roots. These are the nerve roots here coming out of the spine. Healthy nerve roots rely on no vertebral pressure and plenty of space between the vertebrae. The discs create the spaces between each one of your vertebrae, and that allows movement and acts as a shock absorber. When we go through puberty, we actually lose a lot of the blood flow that goes directly to the disc, so there's a process called imbibition that becomes very important. Imbibition is basically just moving or pumping of that disc, and that occurs when the spine is moving in a healthy way. We are able to pump nutrients in and waste material out, but what happens when we slip, we fall, we get in a car accident, and we sit for 8 hours a day? The area gets jammed and fixated, and it's no longer moving properly, and no fluid can get in and out of the disc. So then what happens? It degenerates. Two things happen with a stuck vertebra. One, the nerve doesn't function well, and it sets up that dam on the river scenario. Second, your body lays down reinforcements to support the dam. Muscle spasms, and then ligaments calcify and bone spurs form. If you let this go long enough, the area will fuse together. Which area of your spine has the most rigid muscles? That's the area that's most likely to fuse first. Now, when we have an area that's not functioning the way it's supposed to, it's not moving the way it's supposed to, then it's therefore not functioning the way it's supposed to. We get an adjustment in there, we can get that motion back, and can actually prevent that type of arthritis or degeneration from happening in your spine. Now, has anyone heard of the Windsor autopsies? Dr. Windsor was a medical doctor, and in 1921, he performed a series of 3 studies. In these studies, he dissected a total of 75 human and 22 cat cadavers. The following are Dr. Windsor's results. 221 structures other than the spine were found diseased. Of these, 212 were observed to belong to the same sympathetic or nerve segments as the vertebrae in curvature. 9 disease organs belong to different sympathetic segments from the vertebrae out of line. That means that in 95% of the disease organs, he found that the nerve controlling that organ was also degenerated at the spinal level where the misalignment was present. So those are the 3 areas of your spine that we evaluate every time someone comes in, but that's the science behind what we do. I'm here to tell you that there's something inside of you that's so much bigger that science may never be able to fully understand. They say chiropractic is a philosophy, a science, and an art. The philosophy is us saying it's more than symptoms that you want to guide your desire to be healthy. It's allowing your body to work as it was designed. In chiropractic, we often say that we don't do the healing, we just remove the interference by removing the spinal misalignment called the subluxation, and we let the body heal itself. It's the intelligence of your body that strives to be healthy. Your body wants to be healthy, and that's why it's always regulating and healing. It's just us that stops it by the food we eat, the activities we do, and just the abuse we put our bodies through. Despite all of that, people are still able to live a very long time. One of the reasons why we give this talk is to help our patients get the most from their care. We have found that the patients who attend this talk do far better with their care than those that don't. Part of the reason is that hopefully you now understand that your health is more than just about pain or a lack of pain. It's about more than just feeling good. You also now understand why we are adjusting your spine to improve your health. Our first goal is to help you get out of pain, since that is the main reason why you came in. But we want every patient that we come into contact with to just be healthier. Now, if being healthier sounds vague, that's on purpose. Being healthier is different for everyone. We hope to help our patients take less medications, move more, eat better, and make positive improvements in their health wherever we can encourage that. However, we need your help. Good health will require your participation, and what I just talked about is where chiropractic helps. Your doctor finds the spinal misalignments, called subluxations, and determines which way they've gone out of place. Each vertebra can move up to 16 different directions, and that's why you need us. We find those subluxations, the areas of your spine that are not working correctly, and then move them back into place. That's just not something you can do by yourself. But we don't want to just adjust you and then see how quickly you can get misaligned again. When we do the misalignment, this starts to move the vertebrae back into place again, and the vertebrae starts to move right back out of place shortly after your leave. That's why you do have to come in more frequently at the beginning of care. To help your spine stay in place, we need your help by doing the following. One is consistency. Be consistent with your care. Each adjustment builds on the next. Missing one adjustment is really missing 33% of your care if you're supposed to be coming in 3 times per week. When we first tell people that they need to come in 3 times, they feel like that's a lot, yet they will regularly take medication that they have to take every 4 hours. Realistically, you would benefit from coming in a couple of times per day, even daily at the start of your care. However, we give you the minimum amount that you need to continue to make progress and make changes to your spine. The first few weeks of care are very important in determining how the rest of your care will go. Second is that we may recommend some home care things like the neck wedge, the heel lift, a foam roller, posture exercises, or other lifestyle changes. This is a long-term process. What can you reasonably implement right away? Really, you need to do all of them, but this is not something you have to do all at once, nor necessarily all at the same time. They serve different purposes, so they are all needed, but what can you start today? If you've forgotten, take a look at your care plan again for your initial recommendations, and if you can't remember, then talk with your doctor, or we can print that care plan out for you again. Don't think of this as a 30-day program, but a 30-year program. Keep making improvements and implement what you can do consistently. Consistency trumps almost everything else when it comes to making healthy changes. Our website has all the details to show you how to implement these things, and your doctor is happy to review them with you as needed. Third is to ask questions. This is your health. If we are going to get you healthy, the life of your dreams, then you need to start taking positive steps. We want to help you with that. We will do the things that you can't do yourself, which is to find and correct the spinal misalignments, and you will have your own health challenges. Your interest in making that change is a huge part of your success, but we don't know where you need help unless you ask those questions. And last is to tell others. Is there anyone you know who wouldn't benefit from becoming healthier? Yes, we believe that chiropractic should be a cornerstone to reaching your health potential. You, your family, your coworkers would all benefit from a spinal checkup. We have referral certificates that we will give you tonight that will allow someone you care about to get a consult, exam, and any necessary x-rays at no charge. Remember the lady at the grocery store that told the mom to bring in her crying baby. She changed a life, she changed a family, and you can too. We found most people fit into one of three different categories when it comes to their health. Some people, unfortunately, they've been through the ringer when it comes to their health. It's been one thing after another. And maybe it's not even their fault, but those are the cards they got. They've been to the doctor, nobody helped them, and they are tired and they just want to give up. Can you imagine trying to help that person and they just tell you, I don't want any help, I'm done, right? So if anybody is feeling like that in this room, I encourage you to never give up, because the next thing you try, the next thing you implement into your life might be the one thing that you need to help you turn the corner and help you get healthy. I remember doing a health event at a local Target when Susan, a 40-something-year-old lady, was walking more like shuffling by. Her hair was a mess, no makeup, and she was wearing sweatpants and flip-flops. In order for us to do our health screening, she was going to need to step up on this 4-inch platform, but she couldn't do it. The pain was too great. Her husband had brought her to Target just to get out of the house and walk around, since she really couldn't get out much. She agreed to come in and get checked since nothing else was working anyway. Her first few visits were tough. She was in a lot of pain, and just getting her into the positions I needed to adjust her was a real challenge. After about a week, I was standing up at the front desk when someone walked into the office, and I asked, "Can I help you?" as I didn't recognize this person at all. She said, "Dr. Cordova, it's me, Susan." Her hair was done, she was wearing makeup, and she was smiling. I did not recognize her at all. I give her credit for being willing to try one more thing to get better. Even more common is the second type of person. That's a lot of us guys in the room. We might have a little symptom, we might have some pain, or maybe we don't have any pain at all. Maybe we just say, you know what, I appreciate my health, but I'm fine, I'm good. And we don't do anything about their health until it's too late. I challenge us not to be that person either. The type of person I want to be is that third type. That's the type that says, you know what, I am worthy of great health right now, and I'm willing to take the action that it takes in order to achieve that health so that I can live my best possible life. I can achieve those goals and live the life of my dreams. And that's the person we always encourage our patients to be. I want to share this quote from Jim Rohn, and when I read it, it made such a big impact on me. And we'll substitute poor health for failure, and you'll see what I mean. Failure is not a single cataclysmic event. We do not fail overnight. Failure is the inevitable result of an accumulation of poor thinking and poor choices. To put it more simply, failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Now, why would someone make an error in judgment and be so foolish as to repeat it every day? The answer is because he or she does not think it matters. If we have not bothered to read a single book in the past 90 days, this lack of discipline does not seem to have any immediate impact on our lives. And since nothing drastic happened to us after the first 90 days, we repeat this error in judgment for another 90 days, and on it goes. Why? Because it doesn't seem to matter. Herein lies the greatest danger. Far worse than not reading the books is not even realizing it matters. Poor health is not a single cataclysmic event. Not exercising or eating at McDonald's does not have an immediate impact. They are small errors in judgment repeated every day, and they matter. 70, 80, 90 years of quality health is possible if we'll take care of our bodies the way that's designed to be taken care of, and we can deliver that type of life for us. And I'm here to tell you that every person in here, you're not only worthy to live that life of your dreams, you were born ready to live that life. Tonight is a great night to pick something that you can implement and start making that small, good decision every day to start making a difference in your health. If you're not sure where to start, talk with your doctor. They know your health history and can help you pick something. For now, sticking with your care plan is a great first step. You can do this by scheduling all of your appointments in advance. This has been proven to work the best with our patients over time to help them get the best results. At the front desk, you will find the referral certificates I mentioned earlier. I'm sure you're thinking of someone right now that needs to have a healthier life. Make sure they get that certificate tonight or tomorrow at the latest. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it.